Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you love The Young and the Restless as much as I do, you are in for a treat today. We are diving deep into one of the wildest truths about Genoa City. So many of the faces you see every day on your screen were not the first people to play those characters. Some of these actors have been on the show for decades and feel like they own the role completely. But the truth is, someone else started it all. Today, we are looking at 15 current or recent Y&R stars who stepped into shoes that other actors already walked in. From legendary longtimers like Melody Thomas Scott, Jess Walton, and Peter Bergman to newer faces like Billy Flynn, Lucas Adams, and Roger Howarth, the list is full of surprises. Get comfortable, because this is going to be a long one. We are going deep on every single story, the drama behind the scenes, how fans reacted, and why these recasts still matter. If you stick around until the end, you will see just how crazy the history of this show really is. Let's get into it. First up is the queen of Genoa City herself, Nikki Newman. Melody Thomas Scott has played Nikki for an incredible 47 years. That is almost half a century of drama, marriages, schemes, and heartbreak. Most fans cannot imagine anyone else in the role. But she was not the first Nikki. Back in 1978, the character first appeared played by actress Erica Hope. Hope only lasted a short time. Behind the scenes, things got messy. She reportedly clashed with other cast members, and the producers decided they needed a change fast. Melody Thomas Scott came in as an emergency replacement in 1979. She has said herself that they needed a new Nikki right away. She stepped in and never looked back. Over the years, she turned Nikki into one of the most iconic soap characters ever. The alcohol struggles, the high society life, the on and off romance with Victor, the family battles. Melody made it all feel real. Fans still talk about how natural she is in the role. It is almost impossible to picture anyone else now, but the fact remains, she was not the original. That emergency recast changed the entire course of the show. Imagine if Erica Hope had stayed. Would Nikki have become the same powerhouse character? We will never know. What we do know is that Melody turned a short-term replacement into a lifetime achievement. Next, we have Jill Abbott, played for decades by the amazing Jess Walton. Jill is pure fire. She is sharp, funny, sometimes ruthless, and always entertaining. Jess has won 2 Daytime Emmy Awards for the role and completely owns it in the eyes of most viewers. But she was far from the first Jill. The character started way back in 1973 with Brenda Dixon. Dixon played Jill for years and left a strong mark. Then Bond Gideon stepped in briefly in 1980. After that, Deborah Adair took over until 1983. Brenda Dixon came back for another run. Finally, in 1987, the role needed a new actress again. Jess Walton had been playing Kelly Harper on the soap Capitol. The story goes that the day Brenda was let go, the late Bill Bell, the head of the show, said they suddenly had no Jill. Someone suggested Jess. They called her that same day. She did not even have to audition. She got the job in the afternoon and started the next morning. That is how fast soap recasts can happen. Jess walked in and made the role her own. Her chemistry with the Abbott family, her battles with Catherine Chancellor, her complicated love life, everything clicked. Fans who watched the earlier Jill still debate which version was best. But for modern viewers, Jess is Jill. The speed of that casting decision shows how the show has always been willing to take big risks to keep the stories moving. Now let's talk about Jack Abbott. Peter Bergman has been Jack for so long that many people think he invented the character. He has multiple Daytime Emmy wins and nominations to prove how good he is. But the original Jack was Terry Lester. Lester played Jack from 1980 to 1989 and left a huge impression. He was handsome, charming, and had that perfect Abbott swagger. When he left, the show struggled to find someone who could fill those shoes. Melody Thomas Scott herself suggested Peter Bergman. Peter had just been let go from All My Children, where he had played Cliff Warner for 10 years. At first, Peter was not interested. He said replacing someone who was an iconic presence felt too risky. He worried fans would never accept him. But he took the chance, and it paid off in a big way. Over the years, Peter made Jack even more layered. The business battles, the family loyalty mixed with rivalry, the romantic ups and downs. Peter brought a different energy that still feels fresh decades later. His 4 Emmy wins show that the risk was worth it. Fans who remember Terry Lester still talk about him with love, but Peter proved that a recast can become legendary in its own right. Sharon Newman is next, and this one is a classic third time's the charm story. After short turns from Monica Potter and Heidi Mark in 1994, the show found Sharon Case. She had already worked on General Hospital as Dawn and on As the World Turns as Debbie. Sharon has said there was pressure because the role had already been recast before she arrived. She needed to succeed where others had not lasted long. She did more than succeed. She created one of daytime's greatest super couples with Joshua Morrow as Nick. Their chemistry was electric. Sharon won a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in 1999 and has earned many more nominations since. She turned Sharon into a complicated, sometimes messy, always fascinating woman. The drug issues, the romantic chaos, the motherhood struggles. Sharon Case made every twist feel personal. Fans who watched the earlier Sharons barely remember them because Case made the role completely hers. That pressure she felt paid off in a huge way. Diane Jenkins has one of the more complicated histories. Alex Donnelly originated the role in 1982. She left in 1984, came back for a visit in 1986, and returned full-time in 1996. In 2001, the show recast with Susan Walters. Susan has said that back then, the internet was not everywhere, so she did not feel the full force of fan opinions the way actors do today. She left in 2004. Maura West, who many of you know as Ava on General Hospital, played Diane from 2010 to 2011. Then in 2022, Susan Walters came back again. It is rare for an actress to leave, have others take the role, and then return years later. Susan has brought her own cool elegance to Diane. The character's schemes and complicated history with the Newmans feel different with each actress, but Walters has now had 2 major runs. That kind of back and forth shows how flexible soaps can be when a character still has a story left to tell. Victoria Newman started as a baby on screen in 1982. Young actresses played her, especially Ashley Nicole Millen. Then in 1991, Heather Tom took over. Heather, who now plays Katie on The Bold and the Beautiful, won a Daytime Emmy for the role and made Victoria strong and complicated. She left in 2003. In 2005, Amelia Heinle stepped in. Amelia had played Steffi on Loving and Mia on All My Children. She admitted she was nervous because Heather was so good and so different from her. But Amelia made the role her own and won 2 Daytime Emmys for Outstanding Supporting Actress. Her Victoria feels more vulnerable in some ways and fiercer in others. The switch worked because both actresses brought something real to the Newman daughter who has fought so hard for respect in her family. Patty Williams has a wild history. She first appeared in 1980, played briefly by Tammy Taylor, then Lilbert Stern. In 1983, Andrea Evans, famous as Tina Lord on One Life to Live, took the role until 1984. Years later, the character returned with a new face and a new name after reconstructive surgery. In 2009, Stacey Haydock arrived as the new Patty, fresh from playing Hannah on All My Children. Stacey has said she did not even know she was playing a recast at first because they did not tell her the character's real name. She just showed up and did the work. That mystery worked in her favor. Her version of Patty has been unhinged, dangerous, and completely unpredictable. Fans who remember the earlier Patty still get surprised by how far the character has come. Abby Newman went through several young actresses, including Darcy Rose Burns from 2003 to 2007. Haley Aaron played her as a teen in 2008. M.A. Ryland took over from 2010 to 2013 before leaving for General Hospital. Then Melissa Ordway stepped in. Melissa has said she felt huge pressure because Emmy was a fan favorite. She did not want to copy what Emmy had done. Instead, she tried to figure out who Abby was for herself. That approach worked. Melissa's Abby is stylish, ambitious, and full of Newman fire. She has carried the character through business deals, family drama, and big emotional moments. The fact that she made it her own after a popular previous actress shows real strength. Billy Abbott has had one of the longest lists of actors. Born in 1993 and played by child actors, then aged up in 1999 with David Tom. Ryan Brown and Scott Seymour had short runs. In 2008, Billy Miller took over and won 2 Supporting Actor Emmys and 1 Lead Actor Emmy. When he left for General Hospital in 2014, David Tom came back briefly. Then Burgess Jenkins played him from 2014 to 2016. Jason Thompson, who had been Patrick Drake on General Hospital, stepped in next. Jason said it was nerve-wracking because so many guys had already played Billy, especially Billy Miller, who did it for years. But Jason won a Lead Actor Emmy of his own in 2020. His version of Billy feels different, more grounded in some ways, still chaotic in others. The character has survived so many recasts that it almost feels like a tradition now. Kyle Abbott started with toddlers after his 2001 birth. When he returned in 2010, Garrett Ryan played the child version. In 2012, he was aged up with Blake Hood, then Hartley Sawyer, then Lachlan Buchanan. In 2018, Michael Mealer took over. Michael got great advice from his TV dad Peter Bergman, another famous recast. Peter told him everyone would have an opinion about who Kyle should be, but he needed to make the character his own. Michael has done exactly that. His Kyle is charming, a little lost sometimes, and always interesting. The advice from Peter clearly helped him settle into the role without trying to be any of the previous actors. Nate Hastings was born in 1995 and played by child actors. He returned as an adult briefly in 2011 with Walter Fauntleroy. Brooks Darnell played him full-time starting in 2018. Then in 2019, Sean Dominic took over. Sean said he was not worried about being a recast. He wanted to bring a fresh light to the character and take him on a new journey. That fresh energy has worked. Sean's Nate feels confident, caring, and ready for bigger stories in Genoa City. Adam Newman has also had a long list. Child actors played him from 1995 until he left town. When he returned as an adult in 2008, Chris Engen started. Michael Mooney took over for several years until 2014. Justin Hartley played him from 2014 to 2016. Then, in 2019, Mark Grossman arrived. Mark has said the audience already knows Adam from all the different people who played him, and each one brought something special. Mark has made the character darker and more intense in his own way. The Newman sons seem to attract strong actors who each leave their mark. Kane Ashby was Daniel Goddard from 2007 until 2019. Fans loved the chemistry he had with Crystal Khalil as Lily. In 2025, Billy Flynn joined the show. At first, he was introduced as a mysterious man named Aristotle Dumas. Then it was revealed that Aristotle was just an alias for Kane. Billy has said he is not Australian, and he is a bit younger than Daniel was. He respects what Daniel did, especially the relationship with Lily. Taking over a role that already had strong history is never easy, but Billy is bringing his own style to the character. Fans are still adjusting, and that is normal with every big recast. Noah Newman went through Kevin Schmidt as a teen in 2008, then Luke Kleintank for a short time, then Schmidt again, then Robert Adamson from 2012 to 2018, with some returns later. Rory Gibson played him from 2021 to 2023. In 2025, Lucas Adams, who used to play Trip on Days of Our Lives, took over. Each actor has given Noah a slightly different energy. Lucas is the newest chapter in a long story. Finally, we have Matt. Eddie Cibrian played him from 1994 to 1996 and made him a real threat. When the character returned in 2000, Russell Lawrence had a short run, then Rick Hurst took over. Rick had already won a Daytime Emmy on Guiding Light and had played Scotty on Days. His Matt was intense. Years later, in 2025, Roger Howarth stepped into the role. Roger is a Daytime Emmy winner with history on As the World Turns, General Hospital, and One Life to Live. His version of Matt continues the reign of terror in a new way. The character who once yanked out his own breathing tube to frame someone is now back with another strong actor behind him. Looking at all 15 of these stories, one thing is clear. The Young and the Restless has never been afraid to change actors when the story needed it. Sometimes it was because of backstage problems. Sometimes an actor left for other opportunities. Sometimes the show simply wanted a fresh face. What matters is that many of these recasts became the versions fans now love the most. Melody Thomas Scott, Jess Walton, Peter Bergman, Sharon Case, Amelia Heinley, Melissa Ordway, Jason Thompson, Michael Mealer, Sean Dominic, Mark Grossman, and the newer additions like Billy Flynn, Lucas Adams, and Roger Howarth all prove that a role can survive and even grow stronger with a new actor. Of course, fans will always debate the originals versus the later versions. That is part of the fun of watching soaps. We get attached to the people we first saw in a role. Then a new actor arrives and slowly wins us over, or sometimes never quite does. Both reactions are valid. The important thing is that the stories keep going. Genoa City keeps turning. Families keep fighting and loving and scheming, and the actors who step into these big roles keep finding new ways to make them feel alive. If you made it this far, thank you. This was a long one because these histories deserve the full story. Drop a comment and tell me which recast surprised you the most. Which original actor do you still miss? Which current actor completely owns the role for you now? Hit that like button if you enjoyed the deep dive, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. There is always more drama waiting in Genoa City, and we will keep covering every twist together. See you in the next video.